Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and today Apple released iOS 26.5 Beta 1 re-release. Now this update was released alongside one other update, and that's with iPadOS 26.5 Beta 1 re-release. Now, I'm screen recording this video, whereas I did not screen record the initial 26.5 Beta 1 video, as I did not know if screen recording would work because this is a beta. But if I go into the file size here, it is 372.1 megabytes, and that is on my iPhone 12 in product red. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and let's talk about what's new. So if I go to Settings, General, and Software Updates, and we tap on more details, we take a look at the build number. The build number is 23F5043K. This is why we have iOS 26.5 Beta 1 re-release, because the last beta ended in a G. This one ends in a K. Now, as far as what's new in this particular update, well, there really isn't anything new. Performance should be smooth as it was before. Going into apps should work pretty great. Apps like podcasts should work. But I will cover some of the features in Beta 1, like the glyph icon that was in Face ID. I really like that change. Honestly, that's really nice. The fact that we have a glyph icon when you swipe up for Face ID, whereas you didn't in iOS 26.4. The first time I went into Apple Maps, there was a splash screen showing different things. Some new updates we have to Apple Maps. A really nice splash screen within that particular update. Now, if I go into Apple Maps, within Apple Maps, we have some new features here. We have suggested places. This is an all-new feature within Apple Maps on iOS 26.5 Beta 1, and they will be showing advertisements at some point as well. So that's new in iOS 26.5 Beta 1. If we go into our settings, we scroll down until we get to Messages. Within Messages, if we go into RCS messaging, we still have end-to-end encryption beta. This is a new change in iOS 26.5 Beta 1. So this is a new feature. As far as any other features, well, this is not a Beta 2 update, so there really isn't no new features. Those were just features found in Beta 1. But as far as my performance, well, I showed you a little bit of that already. But let's do some scrolling here in Apple Podcasts. You can see things are loading up a little slower. It's probably because of my overall Wi-Fi connection. So if I just enable my personal hotspot from my iPhone 14, and we give it a second here. Sometimes it does take a second to connect. We give it a second, and now it should be loading in pretty smooth. So it depends on your overall Wi-Fi connection. That will let you know if you get some good performance. Though if you have great Wi-Fi and performance is still acting up, that may be a bug with the current software. But performance seems pretty smooth, only based on Wi-Fi where you may have some issues. And there's a splash screen here within Apple Music. Now, if you are facing any bugs, I recommend you report those in the feedback app. You can report all the latest bugs within Apple's feedback app. I recommend you do that if you are having any issues. Now, as far as what else to expect, if I go into the calendar app here, We are still expecting iOS 26.5 Beta 2. And I would expect that update as soon as the 6th of April. So we can expect that around the week of April 6th. And it brings some new features with Beta 3, probably the week of April 13th. Beta 4 around April 20th. And then have an RC on April 27th. Beta 4 I will be installing on my iPhone 14. And then I wouldn't expect the final release until May 5th or May 4th. Now, I know May 5th is Cinco de Mayo. I believe that might be a holiday that might not be celebrated in the United States, but it still will show up on calendars. Apple could push it out that Tuesday, but more likely, major updates usually get released on a Monday. So, May 4th is when I would expect iOS 26.5 Beta 1. Now, it's hard to say if we will get iOS 26.6 because it seems like in the past 3 years, Apple has held the 0.6 update probably in like after the major software comes out. In 2022, we got iOS 15.6 in May, released as a beta, but after that, Apple started pushing it the second week of June. So with iOS 17 betas, or we might have seen iOS 16.6 get an early May release, but I remember usually mid-June after the major software gets announced. But either way, 26.6 is the next one up after 26.5. And I will be testing the late betas of it because I'm updating this iPhone 12 to iOS 27. So if I go into Apple's website here and we go to Apple Beta Software Program, I am planning on installing iOS 27 Developer Beta 1. I will let you guys know what is new in iOS 27 Beta 1. We are expected to get some liquid glass sliders and different updates like that. So I will be beta testing it on the iPhone 12 whilst waiting for a later beta on the iPhone 14. As far as anything else with this particular update, well, that's it for iOS 26.5 Beta 1 re-release. I am going to have a video either tomorrow or Sunday, probably after I do my iPhone 14 1-month anniversary video. I will have a follow-up video, a separate video for iOS 26.5 Beta 1, or I may merge it in tomorrow's 26.4 video and just rename it to iOS 26.5. But since I don't have 26.5 on my iPad and my other device, I will still name it 26.5 as that will be the main focus of the video and just show iOS 26.4 on both the iPhone and iPad in the video as well. But as far as anything else, well, that's it for iOS 26.4 or 26.5 Beta 1 re-release. It's a pretty nice update. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.